Hello, wonderful finance oracle fans. I trust you're doing well today. Well, I'm here again today with wonderful information that will help you to achieve your migration dream. And I would like you to pay attention and follow me from beginning to the end because the information which I will be sharing today is crucial. I am interested in on how you can achieve your migration dream without paying an immigration lawyer or without spending money on agents, and you can do it yourself. And that is the reason why I bring out this well researched information to you. So guys, today I'm going to be talking about the 190 visa. Yeah, if you've been following up, you notice that for the past few days I've been on the Australian visa series, so I will be making justice to the 190 visa. Just in my last video I've talked about the visa 189, which is very close to visa 190, but then there is a little difference because the visa 189 is an independent visa. Both of them are permanent resident visa, but for visa 189 you can live anywhere in Australia, any state which you wish to be in Australia, whereby visa 190 you are restricted to the state which nominates you. Well, this is not going to restrict you forever, but you know it's going to restrict you for 2 years after the visa grant. That means that after the visa grant, for the first 2 years, you're going to settle in the state where you got your nomination, and you're going to work in the state where you got your nomination. That doesn't stop you from traveling to any other part of Australia. You're free to travel, you're free to go on vacation, but then you have to work in this state for 2 years. So that is what is very different. That is the major difference within visa 190 and visa 189. Both of them are permanent residency visa. Another thing is that for visa 190, it has got some advantage. It's going to attract an extra 5 points. Okay, you know, it's a point-based system, by the way. Both visa 189, visa 190, visa 491, they're all point-based visa. So if you decide to be nominated or to choose a state, okay, for nomination, that state automatically gives you 5 points, which add up to your mark. So this is one of the reasons why it becomes a main point of attraction for people, and they decide to apply for visa 190 instead of visa 189. Because someone will say, why do I have to apply for visa 190 when there is visa 189 option? The reason is that for visa 189, probably if your score is 70, you're going to remain at 70 at 189. But visa 190, you're going to get to 75, which gives you a better opportunity to get through in the pool. So that is the major advantage. So, but then, before you can apply for this visa, the first thing I will ask you to do is for visa 190, you need to identify the skill on the skill occupation list of the state which you want to apply. So that means that if you want to apply to New South Wales, you have to go to New South Wales and check if your skill is nominated in New South Wales, if it's in the nomination list. For example, if you're a chemical engineer, it is important for you to go and check, just go to Google and type skill occupation list for New South Wales. And you go through it and see if chemical engineering is nominated, then it becomes, a point of attraction for you, then you can apply. But if it's not nominated, then you go to another province, another state. You can go to Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, any state of your choice, and you go and type it. Even Tasmania, you type and check your skill, and once you find it, then you can apply. If you start application without finding your skill, then you are not going to be successful in the pool because your skill is not nominated. Okay, probably you may not even complete a form. Yeah, so that is something which is very important. But apart from looking at this skill has a lot of information which most time people don't look at them very carefully. You can also look at the visa options you have for the skills, for your skill. For example, if you go to New South Wales and type chemical engineering, so you realize that you could actually go through 190, some other options, 491, many other options which are there. So you look at all these options, which of them did you meet the requirement and which of them would be easier for you. You can go back to look at the requirement for each of these visas. Then it becomes a well-researched platform for you to apply for this for the visa, either 190 or some other visa, which you might later find out is quite easier for you. Okay, so obviously you need to identify your occupation, ensure that the occupation is listed, okay, and you look at the visa options. And the next thing you need to do once you've seen the occupation, the occupation list, is to start your application process. By the way, the application process is similar to visa 189. Okay, so if you want it in details, you can go back to look at my video on visa 189 visa. I've put in the step-by-step process to apply. Number one thing you will need to do is to check if you're eligible. Okay, you check for the visa which you're applying, if you're eligible. Eligibility has to be formed with your academic qualification, your duration of studies, what course you study, which country you study in, have some other stuff similar, will help you to identify your eligibility for this visa. So this is the points table for skilled nominated visa subclass 190. That means if you want to study, if you want to apply for visa subclass 190, this is where you can calculate your points. So there are criteria which will determine your points, and those are criteria such as age, your English language skills, your skills, employment experience, educational qualification, specialist education qualification, Australian study requirements, professional year in Australia, and credentialed community language, studying in regional Australia, partner skill, and nomination. So these are number of things that will help you to improve your score or to determine what score you're gonna have. Overview. Under the skill select model, the Department of Home Affairs invites skilled workers to apply for a skill nominated visa subclass 190 based on the claims presented in their expression of interest in skill select. So the applicants must satisfy most criteria specified in the point test as at the time of invitation. So look at age. The highest score you can get for age is within 25 and 33. You can claim as much as 30 points, which is the highest. And if you're within 18 and 25, you can claim 25 points. And if you're within 32 and 40, you can claim 25 points. Yeah, and if you're within 40 and above, and up to 45 anyway, you can claim 15 points. Then for English language skills, you can claim if you've got zero, you're gonna claim zero. If you've got 6 points, which is competent English all through, you're gonna claim 0 points. If you've got about seven in each of the IELTS skill, you're gonna get 10 points. And if you've got superior English, which is from 8 band and above, you're gonna get 20 points, which is the highest point for English language proficiency. Now, for skilled employment experience, if you've got experience outside of Australia and you've got experience less than 3 years, you're gonna get 0 points. But then mind you that your age might be within the highest point, so you can augment it with whatever your age gives to you. And if you have at least 3 years and 5 years, within 3 to 5, you're gonna get 5 points. And at least 5 years but less than eight, you're gonna get 10 points. And 8 years and above, you're gonna get 15 points. Okay. Now, if you've got Australian skilled employment, you've worked in Australia for less than 1 year, you're gonna get 0 points. And 1 to 3 years, you get 5 points. And 3 to 5, you get 10 points. And 5 years to but less than eight, you get 15 points. And at least 8 years of experience in Australia, you're gonna get 20 points. So those are about your. Let's go to education. Yeah. For your education, if you've got a PhD degree, you're gonna get 20 points. And if you've got a bachelor's degree or master's degree, you're gonna get 15 points. If you've got diploma, you're gonna get 10 points. And if you got if you attend a qualification or award recognized by relevant assessing authority, you're gonna get 10 points. Then let's come down to specialist education. A master's degree by research or a doctorate degree from an Australian university that will give you an additional 10 points. And yeah, these are areas which are covered there: natural and physical science. They've got biology science, science, earth science, mathematics science, natural and physical science, other natural and physical sciences, physical and astronomy, physics and astronomy, and information technology. These are courses covered. And for engineering, these are the courses covered. You may have to go through this, pause it, and see all these courses if you are qualified to claim this. And that's if you've had studied in Australia by research. Then Australian study requirements. If you meet the Australian study requirement, you're gonna get 5 points. If you study in Australia for at least a course which is more than 1 year, then professional year in Australia. If you completed a professional year in Australia, you're gonna get 5 points. And if you got credentialed community language, maybe you're an interpreter or you've got some certificate in this field, you're gonna get 5 points. And if you study in regional area in Australia, you're gonna get 5 points. And your partner skills, if your partner has got skills, okay, in English language, gonna get 10 points. So, but then for your partner to give you 10 points, she must be under 45 years of age and she must have a competent English, which is six in all band, and then she will be able to contribute 5 points to you. Okay, yeah, and again, lastly, if you are invited, maybe you're gonna get 5 points by the state or territory government. They will give you 5 points, so this will help you out to make this. So if you look at it carefully, you see that if you've got an age of, let's say you're 27 years of age, you're gonna get 30 points. But let's assume you are not you're more than 33, you can get 25 points. Let's say you're 35. So 25 and you get competent proficient English, you get 10 points. That's 45. And if you've got at least let's say 8 years of experience, 15, that's 60. And maybe you've not worked in Australia, so you're not gonna get any points there. And if your education is bachelor's degree, you're gonna get 10 points. That's 70. Okay, let's see if there's any other thing. Then if you've got your partner, she got at least 10 points. Competent English, you get another 10 points. That's 80 points. So with 80 points, you're so sure to go through the federal you're gonna be sure to go through the independent visa, okay? Visa 189. Then if you're not, if you don't get up to 80, you may go through the um, the state nominated visa or even the regional nominated visa. So that will give you additional points, okay? So, but then for someone who has studied in Australia or who have done some other programs in Australia or who has a partner in Australia, there are all points for you. So you see that getting this is quite possible. It's just for you to start it up. Now, be aware that if you want to do this, you might have to do your migration skill assessment. Anyway, if you're an engineer, you want to do a migration skill assessment, you can hit me up through Martin Finance Oracle at gmail.com. I will help you out with um, your CDR, but then it's gonna be on a charge. Okay, it's not an easy tax. It's quite very taxful. It's a Herculean tax, so I'm gonna charge you for that. But then, apart from this, there are a number of things you may want to know. Like you may want to know the English requirement for your assessing body and a whole lot of other things. But then, anyway, this is on your point table for skill nominated visa. So it is good you know about this. Calculate your points and find out if you're eligible to apply for any visa in Australia visa 189, visa 190, visa 491, whatever it is, you should check if you're eligible to apply. I wish you the best of luck, guys. Hope to see you in my next video. Cheers. So once you see you're eligible, of course, age also is very crucial. So once you see you're eligible, the next thing you need to do is, in most cases, before you can do a migration skill assessment, you need to have an English language test. So you have to go back to which body is responsible for a skill assessment. I mean, if you're an engineer, it's Engineers Australia, so you can go back to their website and spend time to research. Then you'll find out if you need an English language test. For example, for the Engineers Australia, you need a language proficiency test up to competent, skill for you to be able to apply. But for some skills like marketing, you don't really need to have an English language test before you can apply. So you can apply, and during your visa process, you now submit your English language test. So you need to find out which of the assessing body and what their requirements are. Some assessing body just need you to have proved your English language test or your language competency through work experience. So you need to find out what their requirement is. So for most of them anyway, you need to do a language proficiency test. So once you've done that, you do your migration skill assessment. Well, there are many other factors depending on the assessing body while your migration skill assessment will go through. For example, if you're an engineer, you need to have completed at least 4 years bachelor's degree in engineering, and you also need to have an English language proficiency. Then some work experience also is required for most of them. For IT sector, for example, they don't need work experience, but for Engineers Australia, they need work experience. So, and you also need to do some career episodes. Either you are going to register through Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, or Dublin Accord, or as an engineer graduate in Australia, or you will need to do what we call competency development report. So through this competency development report, you will be able to assess this migration skill. Okay? Otherwise, you will not be able to go through it. So guys, you need to find out which body is responsible to assess your skill, and you go through the skill assessment. Then at this point, you can do what is called expression of interest. But if you do not if you do not require an English language test for migration skill assessment, at this point you need to do your English language test. Now coming back to expression of interest, you are going to do this through the portal called Skill Select. Yeah, Skill Select is a government portal for Home Affairs where they are going to automatically select the people who have got the highest score, who have got the highest ranking in the list according to the number of people they need for each of the skill. So this is going to be an automatic select, and they will pick people with the highest score. Okay, so it is important while you're filling up the form for expression of interest, though you will not need to upload any document, you need to ensure that wherever you fill there, you are able to back it up, back up that claim with documents when it comes to invitation to apply and filling out the application form. So guys, if you are successful in expression of interest, you're going to receive a notification letter telling you that you're successful, and at the same time you're going to receive that same letter will be inviting you to apply, and that is what is called ITA. And once you've got an invitation to apply, guys, congratulations. Next thing you need to do is to go and hit up the application portal and apply for the Australian visa. But then bear in mind that before you apply, you need to get every document ready, everything you've claimed in your expression of interest, and you need to get things like your health fitness certificate, your character clearance, and a whole lot of other things. Well, one question people keep bringing is, do I need a proof of fund? No, this is a permanent resident visa, and for the Australian immigration law, you do not need a proof of fund because they're going to come to live in Australia permanently and work. Hence, there is no need for proof of funds. So this is it about how to go on to hit up this visa application done. You can see that there is a very narrow difference between the visa 190 and visa 189. Okay, and I would like you to know that there is a benefit for visa 190. The holders of visa 190 are granted permanent residency in Australia, which allows them to live and work in Australia indefinitely. You don't need to do a visa renewal, okay? And you're also entitled to access healthcare and social security benefits. And apart from that, you will be qualifying. I mean, if you meet up with the Australian citizen requirement, you will be qualifying to become a citizen after you've lived in Australia for some years. So guys, this is it about visa 190. And if you like what you've gotten from this video today, why not give me a fat like? This is the only way you can say thank you to me. Like this video and share it to your links, to your contact, and let this video circulate and let YouTube know we are working so hard to feed you with good information. So guys, this is where I'm going to wrap it up today. If you want to get more details about the visa application process, then look up my video on visa 189. I wish you the best of luck on your migration dream. See you in my next video. Cheers.